Hi all, welcome back to my channel. I want to send an apology for not getting to this a little bit sooner. I have been struggling with RSV in our household, influenza in our household, and on top of everything else, I work for the federal government, so there have been some big changes for me in the past week. I haven't had a chance to get to this, but I am back now, and hopefully everything is kind of calm and we can continue on our weekly schedule. So today, I want to go over the ANCC outline. So a big problem that I did in the beginning was I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to look at. I don't know what's going to be on this test. It could be anything. Well, I'm going to pull up the ANCC website. We're going to go over exactly the outline that they provide to you, and body systems, therapies, scientific foundation, all of that. They break it down, and we'll go over that so you know kind of where to focus and what you need to really be looking at instead of being like, there's too much, I don't even know where to start. So let's get to it.
All right, everyone. So let's get to what we're going to be looking at. So if you can see, I went into Nursing World. We're going to go into nursingworld.org. That is actually the ANCC website, which confuses people because you're not looking up ANCC, but you're looking up Nursing World. So we're going to click on that. And then you're going to see at the top there is ANCC or their certification. There's a couple different ways you can go in. I'm going to click on ANCC. And then we're going to scroll down here. And right here is your apply for ANCC certification. So click on that. You are going to have different options here. So I am the PMHNP, so I'm going to click on that little note. You can see the prices there. So if you're not a member, you're at $395, ANA $295, and there are different options. So when you click on this, you'll be able to see them. So this is where you're going to do all of your application. You're going to go in here and do all of that. It will walk you through it. It's pretty simple. You're going to need a lot of stuff from your school and need stuff on here and pay for everything, but it's pretty simple. What I really wanted to go over is the information on here that is just so useful, guides you. It tells you what you need to be focusing on. Another little thing I like to point out is that pass rate down there. It is 90%. So that is pretty good odds. This test is doable. So 90%, that was from 2023. We're still pretty close to that. So again, this test is doable. So let's scroll on down. We're not going to go through the application process, but I want to show you down here is all of the questions, general testing and renewal handbook. And right here are your ANCC study guides. So if you click on the test outline, it's going to give you everything, which it was in my video or the beginning of this video. I had it up, shows you all the systems and everything, your test reference list. There is a sample Psych MP readiness test. There are 25 questions on here. I will say I took this about 3 times. First time I took it was not great. They are all the same questions each time, but I will say I've talked to a lot of people that have went through the ANCC boards, and they usually have one of the questions from the Psych NP readiness test. I did, so there you go. Get one free question from me. So do that, memorize those, understand the rationales. Sample test questions and answers. There just so much. The test centers, the handbook, 7 tips for certifying, what your exam scores and how to retest if you need to, how to display your credentials. All of this is so very important. So I want to pull up this test content outline because the whole purpose of this video is what is on the ANCC exam. So 175 questions, 150 of these are scored. We talked about this in the first video. 25 of those will not be scored. I want to mention that it is currently 2025 right now. I took mine just 2.5 months ago or something, and I have talked to a few people that have mentioned that the ANCC is actually trying something without passing this on to anyone. And some of us are getting 150 questions and 175. So don't panic. I guess this is a new thing they're trying to roll out. There's no information about it yet, so just don't panic. ANCC has confirmed that this is happening. So, scientific foundation, you're going to have 33 questions on this. It's 22% of your exam. Advanced practice skills, which I feel like this is probably the part that most of us are strongest in, 41 questions. So that's good because that's usually all of our strength. 27% of our exam. Diagnosis and treatment, 33, so that's 22%. Psychotherapy and related theories, 17 questions, 11%. And your ethics, legal principles, and cultural care, 26 questions, 17% for a total of 100% of your exam. So this is very helpful to me. I went in and I looked at all of this. So you're going to have to know all of these body systems, these drug agents, and the age groups. So I'm sure you know when you get your MSN that like usually the PMHNP is across the lifespan. At least it was for me. So I knew that going in that it was going to cover all of that. However, I wasn't sure all of the body systems or the drug agents. I wasn't sure what it would cover. So this goes into that there. It then breaks it down further into, remember here at the top, the scientific foundation, like all the content domain, it breaks it down further into what they are meaning by that. So look at all of this and just when you're studying, just keep this in mind. Like all of this stuff is what they are wanting you to understand. And remember, you're not going to know everything. Not even the most practiced PMHNPs know everything. This test is to determine you're competent in beginning to be a PMHNP. Keep that in mind. That helped me through all of this. This stuff, this information on here, breaking down the content domains, so very accurate. Like all of this stuff is covered. When we get into the purple book that I discuss, all of this is broken down in the purple book. So have a basic understanding all of this, know it inside and out, and you got this. Like you will pass this, you'll be fine, and you're going to move on with your life. So I just wanted to show you that because it is important. So let me get into some of the other stuff here. I want to show you if I can get into it. Whoops, I clicked on the same thing. The other information that they show. Some of this wasn't as helpful for me, but I just want to show you anyway. The reference list is useful because that's where they get like all of their questions and everything. So it's all of the books and documents that they use to come up with the questions. So if you're somebody that likes reading and likes going all that information, that is helpful to look at. Just shows you what resources they use to develop this exam. The readiness test, I'm going to let you guys get into that on your own. I don't want to go through all the questions with you. The sample test questions and answers. This is the readiness. This is the 25 questions. I mixed it up. I'm sorry. So these are the 25 questions. So these are the ones I'm saying to memorize because there's usually one on your exam. I'm going to go back because that readiness test is something I believe you have to pay for. Yes, so schedule your readiness test, all of that. You get to take, I think, I believe it's like 60 questions right there. It says it, 75 minutes, but you have to pay for this. It's $85. I did not do this. Some people say it's helpful. Some people say it's a waste of money. I'm going to let you determine if that's what you want to do or not. So let's get into some of the other ones. Exam scores and retesting. So that's just going to go over how you're going to need to retest if you were to fail this, which you're not going to. It's just good information to have. And let's get back to our other information. It's not going to let me go back because I'm sharing my screen. So we'll get out of this here. But I wanted to show you that that's kind of the breakdown of what the ANCC website looks like. Again, remember this is it's doable. Like there's so much information, but it is doable. There are so many resources out there that will give you like the exact foundation that you need to pass this, which I'm going to get into some of the resources I used here in just a minute. But I just wanted to make sure I covered everything. So let's go into finding that magic purple book that I keep bringing up. Here, here we go. So, from what I'm understanding, our ANCC book, this purple one is, I think, one edition late. I mean, I think there's a newer edition coming out. I used this purple book. I took my test right before 2025 and I passed, and I felt like this was very helpful. I also want to say, like, don't go and spend the $70 on it. Like, you can get one from eBay. You can get one from, I got mine from Walmart for like 20 bucks. There was no writing or anything in mine. You can do a download off Etsy for $6 if you're able to look at an electronic screen. I can't. I have to have like the actual book. But this purple book is going to show you exactly everything you need for the exam. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and hopefully you can still see me. And I'm going to show you this purple book. So all of my study materials are still in here. This is the 4th edition. So I'm hearing that there is a 5th edition. I don't know if that's the case. I honestly don't think you need the 5th edition. This is going to cover it. So let's go through. It's going to start out, it gives you exam tips, which is awesome. Those were helpful for me. And then it's going to go into your scope of practice, which that was big on my exam. So make sure you know that stuff, the scope and your different roles that you're allowed to do, the difference between like certification, credentialing, all of that, know it. Pretty much know everything in this purple book, and you're going to pass, and with flying colors, it'll be fine. Your theories, your leadership, the ethics, all of that, all of this is covered in there. And then you're going to get into the good stuff. So, like your neuroanatomy, neurophysiology, your advanced health and assessment, your pharmacology, huge on the exam, individual therapies, again, huge on the exam, and then all of your disorders, diagnosing, all of that with DSM-5 criteria is in here. So I'm not going to read all of this book to you, but I want you to know like the big things on this exam, which again, go back to nursingworld.org and you can look at the whole content domain on there and break it down from there. But you're pretty much going to need to know a vast majority of everything we learned in our master's program. So you're going to need to know all of the theories of psychotherapy. You're going to need to know the family therapies, individual therapies, have a good grasp on that, because I got quite a few questions on that. And some of them can be tricky because the words are similar. So definitely know that. Definitely know pharmacology. There's going to be so many broad things on there. Pharmacology always scares everyone. I thought that was probably the easiest part. It's like the very common, like lithium. You're going to need to know the dopamine pathways and what our antipsychotics do. You're going to need to know about SSRIs. You're going to need to know about general anxiety disorder and how you're going to treat that, which is usually SSRIs. Very basic information. Side effects are huge. Like they're going to want to know about, let's see, like tardive dyskinesia, EPS, all of those big things that we look for in clinic anyway, it's going to be covered on there. You're also going to need to know, like I said, DSM-5 criteria for most common diagnoses, like major depressive disorder, GAD, all of those things. And again, it breaks it down in this book for you. So just make sure you know that, because they'll give you a question like giving you like the symptoms, not like so and so has this for this long. They'll casually write it in like a paragraph. So like John Doe has been experiencing low mood, increased lethargy, decreased appetite for 6.5 months. And then you're going to have to decide what the diagnosis is there with using that time frame that they mentioned in there, and then the three symptoms that I put. So all of that stuff is very useful to know. It is pretty much, I'm going to say mandatory. You're going to have to know it. And then let's get into a little bit of some of the, I'm pulling it up. It's this one kind of caught me off guard. The complementary and alternative therapies, that was kind of big on my exam, honestly. There were quite a few questions that I remember on there. It's not hard information to learn. It's just something that you tend to overlook when you're in school because we don't talk about it a lot. So I just wanted to mention, definitely go over that. And then again, all diagnoses know like the treatment for them. This book, I'm telling you, it's where it's at. Again, I think I mentioned this in the first video as well. I did not take the Georgette course, but I was privy to some of the material she offered, spot on to what I was tested on. So she does not sponsor me. I don't even know the lady, but her stuff is really good. It has helped a lot of people. When I reviewed it after I took my boards, I was like, I wish I would have taken this because everything she went over, like the big stuff. She does what she calls the LMR, which is a last minute review. Spot on. I mean, it went over everything. So those are the big things on the ANCC exam. What I'm going to do with this video series, I'm going to break down each chapter of this ANCC purple book. And I'm going to also go over some of the other materials I use to, like, if this wasn't in depth for me, I would go further into it to make sure I grasped it. Because sometimes I will say like a lot of this is bullet points and just like straightforward information, and it doesn't give you that ability to like critically think to get through some of these questions that are thrown at you. So my whole plan is to let's go over all of this. Let's get that basic foundation. Let's know all of it, but then let's deep dive further into it, and I'll go into how I learned all of the like details to make it so that when I'm reading these questions, I was like, oh, that's simple. Not every single one was like that, but the way I learned, it definitely helped me feel that a majority of the questions were simple on this ANCC exam. So if you have any questions, concerns, topics you want me to cover, any of that, remember to email me at pmhnpperfection@gmail.com. I will look at that. I always like to put my little spiel in here. I am a full-time NP right now. I am a mom. We've had RSV and flu, and I'm a federal worker, so we've got a whole lot of things going on. If I don't get back to you right away, it's not because I'm a horrible person. It's just because I'm busy. But I will get to you. If you don't hear from me for a couple weeks, send me another reminder. I'm just bombarded at times, but I still want to be able to help you guys get through this exam. So again, send me topics you want to go over. If I don't hear from you on that, or even if I do, I'm still going to plan on doing like the breakdown of each chapter and understanding all of that. And then my goal from here is also to provide like the study guides that I made. I don't know if that's going to be helpful for anyone, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to get those gathered. Again, I'm not sure how long that'll take, and I'm going to try to do it on a computer screen because my handwriting isn't the greatest, especially when I'm rushing. But I will share those for free if they help anyone. I'm going to try to get that done, and we'll go through them, and I'll be able to provide like a PDF file or something. That is my plan with all of this. So again, if you have any questions, reach out. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments if you need anything. And I will see you guys hopefully next week, unless my life falls apart again. And then it might be the following week. Have a good one.